Luke, to just tell, how did you first come to be involved in an interview with Hitman?
I was sent this screenplay to see if I was interested and read it, and simply was kind of quite wonderfully surprised by the ending. That's what I mean. I was enjoying the movie, got to the end, and thought I didn't see that coming. So then I was like, when, where is it, feasible with the schedule and stuff? And it came together really, really quickly. My managers were on it. I told them straight away that, look, if it can happen within that window, which it did, let's do it. So, and it was a real quick evolution. It was like probably like a month from having it in my hand, reading it, doing the deal, and getting on a plane to Newcastle and making the film.
And I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you do sort of look a bit like a hitman. And
I take that as a huge compliment.
Do you think that kind of helped you sort of get into the whole role?
I don't know. I don't think it's really. We don't really have a concept as an actor. The way you look is kind of. You've got, like any of us, we've got what we've got. It's kind of an internal process, to be honest with you. I mean, I think you have to consider how he's very meticulous. I don't know if you've seen the film, but he's very meticulous, and that's for his own preserving kind of situation. He doesn't want to get taken out by anyone else either. So I think, but I think, I don't know, as a guy that likes video games myself, or those kind of, and these kind of movies, I think it's the right look for this film, and I think it's the right look for the part. But I didn't have 1 second of me thinking, I really look like a hitman. Because the strangest thing is when you play a role like this, you don't walk along and be that. You're not that character. You're not thinking you're a hitman. This is what you do. You don't even. I think he understands that he assassinates people, but it's kind of a result of them doing something in a business that they know that if they do that, they get found, they're going to get killed, and that's his logical kind of understanding of what he does.
And this is obviously is it your first UK film? Is that right?
Second UK film.
Second UK film.
Yeah.
Well, what is it about UK film industry that you sort of steered away from, perhaps, and doing so much work in America?
It's an interesting question. I actually haven't steered away from it. I think it's taken a while for British filmmakers to think of me as an actor, I guess. I've been acting for 15 years now. But I think 5 years of music and the success we had in Bros was, it's just, I always say, every pun intended, it's like a symbol that resonates, but it just keeps resonating, and that's fine. I'm cool with it. But I think younger filmmakers especially are fans of some of the movies I've done, and they're like, hey, I'd like him to be a part of this if he's around. And so I think what's happening slowly but surely is that British film guys are saying, do you want to do this project? But I've certainly not steered away. I just haven't simply. I mean, I could try and be starry about it, but I haven't had offers for British film movies. But it's only been United States.
So do you find more precious, almost as if you've got to win round those the people that see you as from being in Bros and stuff, and sort of to say, look, I am a serious actor?
Not really. I got honoured by the Motion Picture Club of America 2 years ago, and it was Ed Harris, myself, Amy Adams, and a few people. And at that point, I find myself thinking, why would I do that? Or the MTV nominations or whatever. It's that which is voted for by fans. At the end of the day, I love making film. There's a few people out there that are kind of enjoying some of the movies I make, and I think if one gets distracted by trying to win people over, then you're missing out on a journey. And my thing is, look, either love it or hate it, and as long as you're happy, I'm not trying to twist arms. You know what I mean? It will either work itself out this side of the pond or it won't. But there is some support here, and so I'm thankful for that.
And you've been in some huge sort of American blockbusters. What's the sort of big differences between those films and the sort of smaller British films such as this one?
I think studio movies, it's a machine. Hellboy is like 1,000 people on that movie, literally. And on a movie like this, you might have, 60 people on the film. And it's to do with camaraderie and friendship. And there's you wake up in the morning, we're all tired, we know we made this movie in 18 shoot days. You know that you've got to get on with making it happen. And the unanimous kind of underscore of an independent movie like this is love of film, and people being prepared to most definitely go beyond the call of duty to make it work. And that camaraderie that you have on these independent films is infectious. And for me personally, I like doing studio pictures, but I'm really, really a sucker for an independent movie because of that camaraderie. I think it's like being in the circus or something.
And talking of that, I mean, it seems like a real passion project for Perry. He wrote, directed, and produced it.
Yeah.
Does that rub off on the actors that the man behind it is so sort of into his own project?
Yeah, Perry. The good thing about Perry is he wanted to meet everybody. I spoke to him for probably 3 hours in Los Angeles before we even both agreed that it would work. You know, I think he wanted to see what my idea of the movie might be, and then I wanted to hear also whether I believed that he could bring that page that I'd read to life. And so when you get on set, you know you're meeting a man that is absolutely, like you say, really passionate about the project. And I have to say, as I'm a 43-year-old man, I do feel that there's an area of film that's not being kind of overly generous to guys that want to watch maybe an action movie that's quite thinking, doesn't have CG, and it can be kind of engaging. And I think Perry achieved that with this film. So I think it was, you know, so yeah, that you know you're working with a man who cares for sure when you walk on set with him.
So how does Perry compare to some of the big sort of American filmmakers and filmmakers from across the world that you've worked with?
I think he did a great job of the movie, and I enjoyed working with him. But I think if you say the difference is a first-time director, you see the kind of learning process on the move also. But I think if you have experience, I think the responsibility is to look after each other. So if I ever saw moments where I thought something might benefit from doing it, they say this way or that way, I would suggest it. Whereas if you work with someone like Guillermo del Toro does not guess. He knows what he's doing. He knows every single square inch. He knows what he wants, and it's working with somebody who's made, you know, a number of classic films. And I just think it's a fun experience either way. You're watching someone's evolution or you're watching someone's experience, and both are really enjoyable.
And have you ever contemplated getting into directing yourself one day?
100% actually. I'm producing as well right now. A couple of movies I wrote, I'm producing, and I plan to direct next year, at the end of next year.
So what was it like? I mean, you mentioned before that you only had a very short time to film this. Was that quite difficult? Did that pose any challenges?
Yeah, we had 18 shoot days. That's challenging. I mean, but it really is a case of there's north, that's where we have to head. And everyone's on the same page, and we have to understand that there has to be a unanimous understanding of the movie that you're trying to achieve. And to be honest with you, I've done it. I mean, the film industry is changing. I think the movie industry is going to survive by making movies like this because they can be achieved, they can film quickly, but you do need you need some experience in the room. Otherwise, it can be just a disaster. But yeah, I mean, it's challenging just because it's exhausting because there's no rest.
So just finally, what's coming up for you next? Because I've checked your sort of upcoming film schedule, and you seem to be really, really busy at the moment.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. I have a TV show for ABC, which is kind of like a Sopranos kind of TV show, but a Russian crime family. It's called Red Widow, which we start shooting in August in Canada. Next week I go to Mexico to shoot a movie called Dead Drop Sugarcane. I've got a movie called Inside coming out, Death Race 3 is coming out, and obviously Interview with the Hitman, and I filmed 2 movies, one in November, one in December, so it's a fairly busy time.
Excellent. So we'll be seeing lots more of you then.
Well, unfortunately for you, right?
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time anyway.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Cheers.